Strength training won't get you toned, not by itself anyway. And that is exactly why so many women over 40 lift consistently and they still don't look like it. So today, that's what we're talking about, is the difference between getting strong and actually building the kind of muscle that changes your shape, that speeds up your metabolism, that finally gives you that toned, defined, lean look that maybe you're looking for. So the reality is that plenty of women over 40 lift. They lift consistently. They lift weights several times per week and they still don't look like they lift. Their shape doesn't change. They still have metabolism issues. That toned look that they are chasing is always out of reach and they're constantly frustrated by that. And the problem isn't that they're not working hard enough. It's that strength training by itself isn't the full equation for visible muscle definition or for a faster metabolism. So there's a difference between strength and tone. They're not the same thing. So strength training is just that. It's training your muscles to produce more force. It's about performance, about getting stronger, not necessarily about appearance. Most women, when they're saying muscle tone, they're talking about the visual effect that is created by a combination of building muscle so that there's some shape under your skin and then reducing body fat so that that shape becomes visible. So if you're lifting weights, but you're not seeing definition, that's likely because your workouts maybe are building strength, but your nutrition and your recovery aren't actually supporting muscle growth or fat loss, whichever phase that you're in. So you want to think about this in layers. There's 3 layers, so to speak, of being toned. There's that strength training layer where you're building the strength and capacity. Then there's muscle building where you're in that hypertrophy zone. You're adding shape, you're adding density, you're adding size to the muscles. And then there's the nutrition and recovery piece where you are fueling or supporting your muscle growth and your metabolism. So most women are stopping at layer 1 and wondering why their body shape isn't changing. But when you just strength train without focusing on the fuel, you get stronger, but you don't look any different. You may burn calories, but your metabolism is still suppressed because you're not actually building muscle. So maybe you're maintaining your current muscle, but you're not building any new muscle. And when you want to build something, you need all of the pieces to the puzzle there. So you want to think about your workouts like the blueprint. It's telling your body what to build, but the food, the calories, the protein, like those are the construction materials. That's what you actually need to build it. So if you are training hard, but you're not eating enough, your body just doesn't have all of the raw materials that it needs to remodel itself. So you have to turn your strength workouts into muscle building workouts if you want to see muscle tone. That means that you are training for muscle, not just movement, not just to say that you train. So you're using heavy weights where like those last 2 to 3 reps are challenging you. You're slowing down the tempo. You're not just going through the motions, and you're making sure that you are constantly progressive overloading. You're increasing the weight or the reps every few weeks or every couple of workouts. When it comes to your eating, you are fueling for growth. You're not just restricting and dieting, because building muscle requires calories, at very least maintenance calories, but usually a small surplus. So you want to make sure that you're eating enough calories while still hitting your protein goals and making sure that you're getting in enough carbs and fats too, so that you're fueling your training and your recovery. And that's the other piece, is prioritizing that recovery, because muscle is not going to grow during your workouts. It grows after the workouts. It grows between workouts. So having that rest between sets, having the rest between workouts, having quality sleep, and making sure that you're eating in a way that helps to repair that muscle growth is going to be essential. Because if you are someone who is chronically tired, or you're always stagnant in your workouts, you're not seeing muscle growth, you're not able to lift heavier, if you're always sore, those are signs typically that you're under recovered or under fueled. And I talk a lot more about this inside of the Look Like You Lift course, so I'll link to that below. But basically, I just broke down the Look Like You Lift formula. And this matters so much for women over the age of 40, because once you hit 40, and it's happening all along starting around 25, but it really starts to peak at 40, where you enter this phase where all the hormonal changes that are happening make it easier for you to lose muscle muscle and harder for you to build it. So that needs to become the focus, is the building piece of the equation, not just doing more, not just doing more cardio, slashing more calories, or doing more classes at the gym and always figuring out like, okay, maybe I can like tighten up something over here or do a little bit more over here or eat a little bit less. It's not about that, because those things are all in opposition to building muscle. So they will continually backfire as you get older. So instead of focusing on doing more and working harder, you want to enter your 40s or 50s or 60s, whichever milestone era you're moving into, being smarter about every move that you're making and making sure that you are, yes, strength training, which a lot of women are doing now, but making sure that you are adding in the other pieces, because you need the full trifecta. You need, yes, enough resistance to challenge the body. Yes, you want to get stronger, but you also need enough food, enough fuel to repair the muscles that you are breaking down and to help them to grow. And then you need to recover properly so that the adaptation piece of the puzzle can actually happen. So when those three things align, that is when your metabolism speeds up. That is when you start not only being stronger, but having that look that you may be associating with strength, seeing that muscle definition or tone, as you will. So the bottom line is that you can lift 5, 6, 7 days a week. And if you're not eating enough, if you're still eating like a dieter and acting like a dieter and the moves that you're making with the other pieces of the puzzle, then you're not going to see the results that you want. You'll still always feel stuck and like, why am I doing the most, especially compared to other people that I know, but I'm not seeing the results. So you don't want to approach everything from that dieting, slashing calories, slashing carbs, adding more cardio perspective, because yes, even if you are strength training it's one piece, it's the spark, but you need the rest of the fuel to actually ignite that fire, which is going to be your eating and your recovery. So put those three together, you're going to have that fired up metabolism and that toned body that you're looking for. And like I say, if you want more information about this, check out the free series that I did here on YouTube for how to look like you lift, or the full Look Like You Lift course, where I break down this formula into more detail and tell you how to apply it to your life. And if you are not already following along for the Metabolism Makeover series, this video is included in that, because building muscle is such a key integral piece of having a fast metabolism. So be sure to follow the playlist that I will link to below for the rest of that series, and I will see you in the next one.